Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Roosevelt Show. Uh, we got a special guest in here today, man. That is, you know, I grew up with this individual, man. He is, also part of the Street Draft Media family. Um, but before I, drag it out and everything like that, I'm gonna go ahead and run this intro, man, and we gonna let him tell you about his life story. We'll be back in a quick second, man.
Sound like I've been in the studio watching hit cook. Cali State of Mind took a play out of his book. Type of shit you sub at the light and get your shit took. Soprano section humming like angels with their wings clipped. Like drugs being sold in the 80s, I get the fiend tips. Surviving generational curses on some king shit. Doing whatever I wanna when I see that I pop out once in a while. TMZ clip, childish ways, put them away. We on some grown man. Stocks and bonds, level the plan, fit on your own land. Roots through the blood of my people, but on the wrong sand. It's like being given a cause, but play the wrong hand. My DNA witnessed the streets, and it was cold in. Cutthroat killers and bitches, I took it all. My uncle found his way to the grave, drinking tall cans. And somewhere in that book they call life, they say we all can. Forever keep a eye on me. It's been plenty nights trying to survive in these streets. CA on the 10AZ. Renegade mission, it's a must we don't sleep. Connected like pieces on me. No surrender, nigga, never no retreat. We have to make one for the streets. Forever keep a hundred on me.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, man. With no further ado, man, I got my boy HP in the building, man. Huned P, what up, bro?
What's up, man? What's the deal, man? Appreciate you for having me on this Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Uh, it's definitely been a long-awaited interview. You know what I'm saying? But I told you, I wanted to sit down with you, brother, and pick your brain, man, and you know, um, you're a very clever individual. And for some of the people that may not know, I want them to, maybe get an understanding of who Hunted P is, man. First off, how's your day going?
It's going good, man. Just another day chilling, at the house with the family. You might hear the kids in the background. People doing construction around. This is a normal Saturday, man. Enjoying life. Some people complain, but if you got breath in your body and you walking, you alive to change whatever bad mood you're in, you know what I'm saying, to fix that problem. So, get at it. What's up, Milo?
Milo in the building. What up, big bro? Much love, man. Much love. Uh, yeah, man. I got some questions for you, P. And we just gonna dive straight into it, man, and get into it. What was your early childhood experience like, man, growing up in South Central, man?
Well, I mean, it's kind of crazy because my mom being from Louisiana, my dad being from Arkansas, I spent a lot of time um, down south in Beaumont, Texas, Houston, Texas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Some parts of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Bunkie. You know what I'm saying? So, my time growing up in South Central was a little different because I got a chance to see gang culture. Then I got a chance to see what life was. You had married people, you know what I'm saying? Like people taking their kids to football and going fishing and shit, stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? So like South Central was a little different from my perspective.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Having, that if you want to say that the best of both worlds, the South and the West, if you want to say. I think that's pretty dope, man. Um, being down there in the South, man, like uh how was it different, from at the LA atmosphere, like food, food wise, all of that, man. Break that down for me, bro. I'm pretty sure you got some crazy stories.
Well, I mean, the food is always better down south because for one, it's fresher. But if you got southern parents, the same food you get down there, you get out here because they cooking it at home.
That's true.
Um, but I mean, it was just a different atmosphere. I always say, my mom coming from Louisiana, my dad being from Arkansas. That's why I was made to be born in L.A., Louisiana, Arkansas, and I'm in L.A.
Right, right,
Uh,
okay. I, I didn't even think about that like that. Yeah.
so um, it was just a different atmosphere. You see stuff you don't really see, and like the food wise, that's why me personally, I grew up eating different stuff. Like I eat a lot of wild game. Some people
Hmm.
be like, oh man, that's nasty, you eating deer and squirrel. But I'm like, hell, look at how you sucking down a pork chop, and that's the nastiest animal of them all.
Yeah, that's true, man. That swine. The swine ain't no joke, man. Uh yeah, I feel you on that, bro. Um I know you said, you kind of spent some of your childhood, down south, some of it in LA. Speaking of the portion of, the LA, with you growing up in LA, how did growing up in South Central, part of your life, shape the man that you become today, bro?
Well, I mean, you see stuff faster than not everybody, but a lot of people growing up in LA. What up, Shane? Growing up in LA.
Hmm.
Um, and you sort of have to grow up fast. And I say some of us, me being 40, I'm sort of like a great grandpa in LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
um
yeah.
but you catch on quick. I mean, you happen to learn faster because you got to grow up fast. And for those of us who chose not to gangbang and stuff like that, we had to be very observant and vigilant because where we grew up at, you might have caught flack for not being representing that turf. Then where you went to school at, you caught flack for not representing that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
you had to always be on your P's and Q's, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are affiliated by association.
yeah. That's very true, bro. That is very, very true. That's that's the sad reality of it, though. You know what I mean? To me, I'm pretty sure you can relate as well. Like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, you're still gonna catch the same flack. You know what I mean? So,
That's a fact.
yeah, I definitely understand that. Um, your father, man. I wanted to, touch bases with you on, the fatherhood portion. Being a father, what is one of the greatest things that you love about, being a dad, bro?
Well, I mean, one of the greatest things is watching them, graduate, go to the next level, graduate, do good, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I don't
Hmm.
push my kids, oh, I want you to do some sports, do some shit that I want to. Nah, man.
Hmm.
Have fun, enjoy life. Um, my kids ain't never been in trouble with the law at school, so stuff like that is that's what what prides me.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Um, by the way, a husband as well, and a dad. I do want to throw that out there, a husband and a dad, which I think is dope, man. It's like a rarity to see that nowadays. You know what I mean? Um, for men that you know remain in their child's life, with the mother of their child. Situations do happen, but like that's kind of like a rare instance. You know what I mean? Um, Jumping into your creative space, man. You know, I've been knowing you for a minute, P, and them records. You've been putting out records for a long time, man. What made you decide to get into music, bro? I don't know if we having technical difficulties. Yeah, but this interview, man, we sitting down with Hunted P today, man. picking his brother brain, man. Um, a very creative individual, like I said. This man, he
Yo,
does music. Yo, can you hear me?
yeah, my bad, man.
No problem. I was asking you, what made you, get into creating music, bro?
Um, I think some people just got an ear for it. Like my first album, my Uncrowned King album, I actually like recorded it, wrote it in like '05, but then dropped it to
Mhm.
'07. But shit, I hell did that, wrote it in like about 10 days, rewrote it, rewrote it again. I rewrote it like 4 times. you know? So
Yeah,
when you write, I just said when you're able to write stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And be able to be creative like that, it must be meant for you to do it. And it's also in the blood. My grandfather was a blues player.
was it?
Big Roger Collins down in Houston. You can look that up. He had
Yeah,
guys in his club down there in Houston. Um, he had his own club down there. I was a little kid, little boy, sitting in the club. You ain't supposed to be in there, so you got to sit in the office. While they playing blues and all this stuff. So I
yeah.
mean, I was always around music. I still got his guitar that he gave me and stuff like that. So I
Oh, that's
mean, I was just telling my wife that, music ain't got no age limits because, music is a gift that not everybody's blessed with. So, it
yeah,
don't die as long as you hear and you can read, write, you in your right mind, you keep creating magic.
yeah. It's definitely an endless creativity. I agree with you there, bro. Same thing with the podcasting. I know you had a hood humor with Brandon. Like, where did that concept, spawn from, bro? Like, when did y'all started getting into that?
I mean, well, I know the after party was gonna come out to the West Coast because I was doing promo for them out here already, but they were just down south. So when they decided to come out here, they had shows lined up, and I hit up Montana, the owner, like, hey, me and my boy, we're gonna get a show going, do some comedy shit. We didn't know what we was gonna call it at first. I said we're gonna go with hood humor. Then we just ran with it. This was like 20, I want to say 2018, if I'm not mistaken, end of 2018 or middle of 2018 into 2020. You know,
Hmm.
um, we were actually live that day that tragedy happened to Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. Reporting while nobody knew what was going on. We got news while we were on air.
Wow, wow.
Um, so I mean, I say a lot of us was doing it before the pandemic. We were pre-pandemic podcasting. That's what actually I think shut us down because of the building and restrictions,
Yeah.
distancing and stuff like that. So, that's what changed the game. But it's just something different. Podcasting is just another form of informing people, just like music. You're putting your feelings into words. We're putting information that we gain in the words to give the people something they could hear and use in their life, just like a song.
Hmm. No, that makes total sense, bro. Um, but the creativity doesn't stop there. You also, so you got the music covered, the podcast. Now you're jumping into film, bro. Like, what made that transpire? Like this, hey, you're a man of many jobs. How did that come about in wanting to write in film and direct, your own film, bro?
I mean, like some people who are on social media already making videos and editing and creating content, you already like somewhat of a producer, writer, editor yourself. Just think big. I said, you know what? I used the mentality Barry Bonds used to hit the ball. He said all I did was put my bat where the catcher's glove was because I know that's where the ball was headed to, and I
Mm,
hit the ball.
mm. That's a free piece of game out there for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's yo. It's a cold concept. Never thought of it like that. You put, you know what I mean? It makes sense, bro. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Um, I'm gonna take this one way back, man. What is one thing you would tell your younger self, knowing what you know now at the age of 40, bro?
Um, look for one good woman, not try now look for one good woman and don't try to get multiple good looking women.
Elaborate, bro. Need you to break that
Because
down for me, brother.
well, if you find a good woman earlier in life, you can find if you're looking. You just gotta know where to look and look
Hmm.
in the right places. Meaning, like, okay, it's not a place that I can go here and find a good woman, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna bump into one in the most popping club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna bump into one at church nowadays because that's a hospital. There's people in there sick. They there for healing. You ain't gonna find nothing good in the hospital.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way of looking at it for sure. Yeah.
Um, Not saying you can't, but
Yeah. Yeah.
reality is you're gonna find somebody in the grocery store you're gonna bump into, have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So you meet that good woman, give the person a chance. That woman, that girl that wouldn't leave your side when you was in, high school, that's 14, you 15, that's always bugging you, that one, you know what I'm saying?
You say that's the prototype, huh?
Yeah, that's the one that you should have invested in. You know what I'm saying? But now that you're 30 or 40 or 50, that one that's she done got older, look way good, and developed into a businesswoman, got a family that could have been you. So that's why I tell people, if I to tell my younger self, be more vigilant, pay attention to who around you.
Hmm.
Um, you know what I'm saying? Because that person that may be there for you, maybe right next to you, you're just not looking.
Yeah, that's
You
real,
know,
bro.
just look for one and don't look for 20 of them that's supposed to be the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense, bro. I understand definitely what you're saying, and you dropping some good game and jewels, man. Like that's for these young fellas out here. You know what I mean? Uh, that might cause you a lifetime full of drama if you don't choose the right one, young fellas. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, bro. I definitely respect that. Um, what's the future vision for Hunted P, man? What's on the agenda next, man?
My bad. I didn't hear that last part.
I was saying, what's next on the agenda for Hunted P? What's the future endeavors?
I mean, I can't call it, in the words of my big cousin Cool Daddy, you live every day like it's your last, but you still got to plan ahead in case you make it to the next day.
Yeah.
Um, so, right about now, just finishing up with the movie that we got going on.
Hmm.
Um, Music, and just trying to get ready for what's coming up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, try not to pay attention to the negativity because you got a lot of people talking about, oh, I ain't finna get my snaps. Well, why don't you go fill out a fucking job application?
Hello.
Um, Stuff like that. And I say that to say this because, my wife and I, we've been raising kids for, shit, most of our youth, 20s, 30s, you know what I'm saying? Our kids, we got 5 children, us, no outside. And,
Hmm.
for people to do that, that really gets no assistance from nobody, the government, like real shit. We don't ask people for nothing because we make sure we have what we need. You plan ahead, you set aside a good plan, and just like, your endeavors and your career, you know, you don't never put it away. You keep it there for when the time is right. And I think right about now, the time is right for people like us, for what's going on in the music industry. A lot of stuff that's been exposed. A lot of us who had the talent, and people wonder why we didn't make it back in the days. Because for one, we didn't get the support from the people who say, "Oh, we got the talent. Well, share my shit then." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um,
Yeah.
and for two, maybe it was God looking out for us, not to put us in a very, very corrupt game, which we know corruption is always going to be there. But at that time, it seemed like it was so corrupt. Some people may have fell victim to it. So maybe we was protected until the right time is now.
Man, bro. Man, dropping jewels this afternoon, early on y'all, man. And I'll be feeling like that too, P. Like sometimes, like, not questioning myself, but like maybe, maybe it's us being protected from something. Cause the good man upstairs saw different, you know. But we at the point where we could shine and elevate now and still demonstrate and even better at it, now. Like, mentalities change. Grown men, you grown man thinking now. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking how you was, as a youth. So yeah, bro, I feel that, man. I feel that. Um,
Yep. And I mean
what
that's how I
is
should go.
yeah, yeah. What is a message to the youth, man? If you can, if you could drop some game on the youth today, man, based off of what you're seeing, what is something that you can pass along to the youth, man, to help them along the way?
Well, especially to the young black men, keep it in your pants, man. I would recommend you stay a virgin till you meet the right person. You know, um, eat everything. You know what I'm saying? Like avoid sex until you get with the right person. A lot of people may say, "Oh, that nigga sound crazy," but I'm just telling for all young men, that's one less headache you got to focus on that leaves you in the right mind to focus on what you need to focus on. So now you're in a position to take care of what comes after when you hook up with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's one thing I would tell the youth, keep it in your pants. Don't be going around sticking up every little girl you see because, people are emotional and sometimes craziness comes along with emotions. You don't want that drama. Avoid all the drama you can. Be nice to your parents because I said it before. Some people have had their parents for a short amount of time. Some people have their parents now, but there are some people who've never had them at all, who've never hugged their real mom and dad at all, foster or a close relative. So if you have yours there, at least one, treat them nice,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just do right, And I want to say this too to the youth. You don't have to go to jail to be a man. You don't have to gang bang to be a man. You can stand alone. You can run with a few friends without a gang. Y'all could be real good friends, grow up to be good attorneys or something, have each other's back. I tell every youngster right now, put your flags aside. Gang banging is old. Like I'm for real. We didn't seen some real heavy shit in the 90s. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
man.
Uh Gang banging is old. There's nothing prevailing out of it. Everybody telling on each other. Um, why do you want to go be in a place where somebody gonna tell you what to do all day, every day, 24 hours a day?
Yeah. It's almost like you might as well join the army if you want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the they want to pick and choose what white man is yelling at them. They rather the white man with the sheriff badge in the cell yelling at them than the one that's gonna train them to be a warrior.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, brother. That's definitely the truth, bro. Um, yeah, man. I really don't have anything else outside of that. Oh, I do got one more question. This new movie that you're coming up with. What's the name of it? Nameth? What's the name of it? You got to say it right.
Well, it's called Nate, like
Nate.
Naith, Nate, non-affiliates in the hood,
Yeah.
you
Written,
know.
directed by yourself.
Executive produced by Mr. Rose here.
Oh yeah, well, man, this today you, bro. But you wrote and directed this, man. If you haven't seen the trailer, uh, I should have had it posted it here, but make sure y'all go to while we at it, P. Where can they follow you at, bro? So they can see that clip. Where can they follow? What's your handles?
Well, you can go to the YouTube page West of the 110, and it's posted there along with other good informative videos on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook West of the 110, Instagram West of the 110, along with Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, got a lot of stuff there. Go check it out. But that's where you can find the Nate trailer right there on West of the 110 YouTube.
Yeah, for sure, man. Um, any last words, man, before we get up out of here, man? Well, I always like to say, get the people some news they can use for the week, for the weekend, bro. Just strictly for the weekend. Something that that they could use this weekend. Somebody may need
Snap
to hear it.
snap out of your shell. A lot of people I posted this on social media, but I think people need to hear it verbally. People so afraid to make new friends because of people they had friends with it or they were friends with in the past may have messed them over or it didn't go good. So I ain't making no new friends. It's just team me. You living a lonely, miserable life because you're gonna have to trust somebody. If you're a person that don't want to make no new friends, you're not gonna make no new lover or nothing because you don't even want to make a friend. So how you gonna make a companion?
Man, Hunted
you
P.
know so um you know change your thought process, especially all you dudes that's in your 40s or 50s. Date a woman in your age range. Yeah, you can have fun with a girl that's way younger than you, but you know uh
Yeah,
let's be realistic. Let's show them how it's supposed to go, because us millennials, we are the next in line to be seniors that's got to show a generation how it's supposed to go.
right, right. That's
That's all
that's
I
real.
gotta say.
No, that's real, man. Like, just to comment on that, like, dating somebody in your same age bracket, that's, the maturity level. Not saying, somebody a little bit older or younger can't be on that maturity level, but, 9 times out of 10, that maturity level of somebody in your age range, because y'all, whether y'all grew up in the same city or state, y'all experience certain things in that genre that, you know, only y'all would. So I agree with that, man. Um, my boy Hunted P, man, uh, West Side of the 110, man, host, uh, movie director, artist, father, you know, um, community activist. Let's not remove that off the board. Like, bro be out there really demonstrating and trying to make change, man. And I'm glad that I could call this brother, my dog, man, from the sandbox. You know what I mean? Real true stand up gentleman, man. And I thank you for stopping by, bro, and giving me this short interview. This is gonna be part one because after the movie come out, you got to come back for a part two, bro, for sure.
No doubt, man. Anytime.
All right, man. Before we get up out of here, man, y'all know I gotta run this quick little exit, man, and then we're gonna skedaddles and roll up out of here. Anyhow, man, like I said, man, this is the Roosevelt Show. Quick sit down with Hunted P, my dog. Uh, y'all make sure y'all check him out Monday, man. West side of the 110. 7 p.m., right? You be going live at 7 p.m., right, P?
Yep, 7 p.m.
Yeah, make sure y'all check out the third quarter as well. We get down over there tomorrow on the sports channel with my boy Yogi Loco, man. Street Draft Media in the building. Roosevelt, I'm gone.